Hey guys, what's going on? So we have I guess, probably the one that most people are interested in, um, as the third one that we're going to review. I didn't want to leave it to the end because I feel like people would be annoyed that that I kind of delayed how long we cover the one that the majority of people are playing. Firstly, right? I think most people are Venthyr at the moment, and how it stacks up to the Kyrian, which I thought was amazing. Like I thought Kyrian feels really good, has really cool new abilities, and the new legendary is very nice too. So the legendary that we get for Venthyr is the Helm of the Sinful, which condemn extends the duration of Colossal Smash by 1.5 seconds. So I have a few views on this, but let's just test it with like purely just on a training dummy, right? So I'm just going to do like the normal go where you're condemning, and you can see this is sort of stacking up. You have it for a lot longer than you normally would, and every time you press that button, putting the Mortal Strike back up to be a bit more realistic, you're seeing that extend. So it goes considerably longer than normal. Pretty strong ability. Now, why do I think that this might not be as relevant in PvP? And I imagine a lot of you have this question in your mind right now. Uh, it's the fact that realistically, you're going to do two condemns on a target if you have the rage, and they're not going to be in condemn range anymore. So, like, unless they're getting topped by their healer, right? Which is an option as well. I imagine you'd really be getting about three condemns maximum in one of your colossal smash sort of goes, right? Especially considering the fact that you might not have the charge, you might not have the rage, and all this kind of good stuff, right? So we'll test it again here. We're seeing that number like consistently go up as time goes on. Wait, I don't know why that's not working now. Is it extending this one instead? How weird. It might actually just be a bug because I swear that did not extend that Colossal Smash when it was sweeping strikes. We'll probably test that again soon. But yeah, I just think you're probably getting about four, maybe 3 to 4 maximum, which is huge if you think about it. But in the case that you get two and they don't get topped, well, then you're getting about 3 seconds extra on your Colossus Smash if you don't assume that you get any sudden death procs, which you could get sudden death procs, which gives you another 1.5 seconds. So that is a pretty big impact. Ultimately, Colossal Smash is one of our biggest cooldowns. I would say it is the biggest cooldown. Like Avatar's 20%, and it's a bit longer, but Colossal Smash definitely just is the more impactful ability because it does 30%, right? So when you stack both of them up, we'll try it again. We'll try this sweeping thing. Yeah, okay, it's working now. I don't know if it wasn't working before or I'm just tripping out, but it kind of felt like it wasn't. And now this one's extended, but the other one isn't. So I think the interaction here on sweeping strikes is something that Blizzard probably needs to look at because it doesn't seem to uniformly increase the. Uh, like, I don't actually understand how this ability is programmed right now um, because it just says duration of Colossal Smash. Is that all Colossal Smashes? Is it the Colossal Smash I'm doing on the current target? Like, do I have to condemn the current target to extend it? Or could I be hitting somebody else? Stuff like that. And I imagine with sweeping strikes, you're hitting both targets. So hypothetically, you should be able to extend it on 2 or 3 targets, right? If you're kind of rotating them through. But yeah, like I said before, you might, even if you kind of get it pulled up before, like pull up all your rage before your Colossal Smash, the maximum you're sort of getting out of that is 1, 2, and then for some reason, the Colossal Smash just might have got parried or something. Actually, maybe I'm just an idiot. But you can see like if you get lucky with some of these procs, like you're hitting them a lot. But I'm hitting a training dummy that doesn't have any. Like I can't force its health to go down below that. Ultimately, something that I think will be an interesting legendary for sure. I think it might be better than a lot of other things. Like if you think about it, if you're getting two condemns off, you're increasing the duration of Colossal Smash by 30%, right? Because it's a 10-second ability, 30% of the base ability. If you're getting three off, that's 4.5%. It's almost 50% longer than normal. And then if the target's getting topped consistently, and just kind of. I've had games where I've just hit Colossal, like Condemn, like 10 times, I swear, because they're getting topped back above 80. You hit it, they get topped again, you hit it, like non-stop. So there's some instances where you probably can extend this Colossal Smash a considerable amount. But I think this might be a bit stronger in PvE and probably stronger in the 0 to 35 range where you're really trying to finish off a target. And, once that Colossal Smash falls off a lot of the times, your condemns start to hit a lot lower. You don't get the same impact, all this kind of stuff. So I would rate this legendary a bit lower than how I would view the Kyrian one. I don't think it has the same impact, but, we have to see this in arena games. With all the new kits as well, because I'm basing this off of the current meta. So overall, I think it's a solid legendary, though. I imagine it's probably one of the best for PvE. Venthyr, like before, doesn't really have a nice, like, strong legendary to fall into. While it does have stuff like Exploiter, is decent, but it doesn't feel the same as like Kyrian Unhinged. Like Kyrian Unhinged has so much, and Kyrian Battlelord has so much like synergy, whereas the Exploiter doesn't feel as good as Unhinged or Battlelord, in my opinion. Now, let's talk about the Covenant Soulbind stuff. So there's a couple coming out, which I kind of discussed in the first video. But for Thrill Seeker, you're probably looking at taking Nimble Steps because this ability is literally... maybe this is good if you're playing with a Warlock. So I'm not going to say it's useless because you could be playing with a Warlock and it could be good. But realistically, you're probably going into Nimble Steps. So I imagine this is all enemies are slowed by 10%. If you fall below 35%, all enemies are rooted for 4 seconds. I think this is quite a strong ability, especially against melee cleaves and stuff like that. Some decent utility. You have some, I guess, like a strong base slow as well if you can't get your hamstring on and you want to get like closer distance. I think the thing that everyone is super interested in is Fatal Flaw. So essentially when the haste buff from Euphoria drops off, you get 20% versatility because you're going to have more verse and create 100% if you're playing PvP. So that's a 20% damage increase and a 10%, what's it called? You'll mitigate 10% more damage. But then if you think about the PvP trinkets, right, 40% increase on that versatility. So like the damage benefit of it, right? So if we get to 52% versatility, we get the extra 40% off that during the proc phase. You're looking at a very considerable amount on top of the base 20%. So I think this is going to be really strong burst during those windows, especially if you time this up. If you're able to line your like Euphoria with your Colossal Smash avatar window and Helm of the Sinful, right? Which they all sort of interact nicely because maybe in the last 5 seconds of your Euphoria, you press Colossal Smash, right? Which means that now, if you can extend your Colossal Smash to be 15 seconds, that entire window where you have 20% more haste and then 20% more versatility is buffed by a Colossal Smash. On top of an avatar, which can essentially last exactly from the time you get your Euphoria proc to the end. And if you think about it, right, Euphoria stacks up, I think it's about 1 every second or something. You gain a stack every 2 seconds. At 40 stacks, it procs, right? So essentially, after, I guess, 30 seconds in combat, every minute in combat, you're getting 30 stacks. So every minute and a half ish, you're going to get Euphoria procking. Unfortunately, you can't like stop it procking. So if you're not connecting at that period of time, you won't be able to kind of control it or anything. But if you're able to kind of make a weak aura and time it and then line up as much as possible, because what I imagine will happen is you might avatar at the start of the game. On the opener, you start your 0. Like then when you're at 0 Thrill Seeker, and then hopefully, I don't know how well it lines up, you'd have Avatar back before then. Or, it might be the second go where your Euphoria and Avatar line up. Ultimately, I think you would, if you're running Venthyr at this point, want to start tracking this and lining up your Colossal Smashes with them. Because even like just base with the Euphoria, right? The extra haste. I don't have the second. You can't get the Kappa talents yet. You're able to extend this Condemn a considerable amount. This Colossal Smash a considerable amount with your Condemn. So very strong. Um, I'd say this does kind of put Venthyr on contention to be one of the strongest again, in line with Kyrian, which is kind of lame because it kind of feels like they've just decided that Warrior is either going to be Kyrian or Venthyr. Maybe that'll change once I look at Necrolord, but Night Fae definitely wasn't too interesting. The other ones, I mean, this Soulbind was never really used for much, but when Soothing Shade activates, you get healed a bit and you reduce damage if you're in this area. It doesn't really work too well, and you get a bit of extra verse every day for an hour, which I imagine you could use in Arena. I'm sure there's a way you could probably find that out, but it doesn't really look too obvious how to do that. General Draven, which has always been somewhat decent because of this damage reduction. This is okay, I guess. Like, how long are you going to be below 50%, and how important is it for Dora Shadows to be off cooldown then as Warrior? This is sort of interesting as well. Any overhealing done to you will heal for an additional 15% of the overhealing amount. So I guess if your Paladin uses like if you're at 70% and your Paladin uses a Divine Favor that hits you for like 30k, you might get, I guess, like a 5 or 6k heal over 6 seconds. Also not that interesting. Battlefield presence, so you base have like in threes, I guess. You reduce damage by 3%. It's a 100-yard range, so it'll probably always be up. You reduce damage by 3% and you increase your damage by 3%, which is pretty strong if you pair it with, I think there's an ability somewhere, like a dual ability. I don't know where it is. Unless it's not on this Soulbind. Hold your ground, superior tactics. Oh no, it might be on the other Soulbind. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. That's sort of similar to that. But yeah, nothing too interesting here. I think like ultimately General Draven's still going to be useful if you need this damage reduction. You want some of the crit from this, but Naja is definitely probably going to pull ahead, especially with this ability. Like, those burst windows are going to be pretty nutty. Noting that it will take 2 minutes or whatever, minute and a half. Like, you can't use this at the start of the game. And if the game is pretty fast and quick, you're really only going to get like one opportunity for this to proc. If the game's slower, I think this gets more value because you'll probably, on average, get 2 of them. And the impact of that's a bit higher. So Venthyr, I'm feeling, is still a very, very solid pick. If you are Venthyr at the moment, I wouldn't feel too stressed in terms of going Kyrian or any of the other Soulbinds so far. I think it'll still be really strong and super viable. Mainly the thing that is probably a bit concerning is how everything's going to end up balancing and how it'll sort of play out. Personally, I'm feeling like Kyrian is still a little bit more interesting to me with that Spear Legendary. But we will see after we look at Necrolord. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy these rundowns. Thanks for all your support. Please subscribe. You know the rest. Take it easy.